Good evening. Oops. I think you may be getting a double dose. Let me just check, make sure you are not receiving two of my voices. Give me 1 second. If anybody's out there in chat, let me know if I'm echoing or if I'm coming clean. Not quite sure. But either way, I'm just going to get going. If in fact I am echoing, let me know. So, this is Sunday Night Wrap Up. We're going to finish off the created, or at least we're going to continue the created. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how far we're going to get, but we're going to get as far as we can get. But before we get to reading, I wanted to make a couple announcements. So, let's see. Clean. I am not echoing. Okay, cool. Thanks. I was trying something new with the setup where I can actually hear myself, because I love the sound of my own voice. Good Lord, I love the sound of my own voice. But anyway, yeah, first we're going to do a couple announcements. So, first announcement, starting tomorrow on the Discord, we are going to start a book club, an audio book club. In the morning when I leave for work, I'm going to put audio book on, stream it throughout the day on the Discord. Everybody can listen, pop in throughout the day. I'm going to do that every day this week, so if you miss different parts of it, you can jump in and out. I'm also going to make the PDF. Shh, don't tell nobody. I'm going to make the PDF available on the Discord as well, so if you don't get a chance to listen to the whole thing, you can go ahead and read it. It's going to be To Sleep with Evil, and that's going to tie in to the second announcement. The Jacqueline Montari video is coming along. The scripting's done. That's going to be the first side quest video, the smaller, shorter video while I work on the third announcement. The Carnival documentary is full steam ahead. We've started to schedule interviews, and that has really snowballed into something quite substantial. And I'm really looking forward to getting that out. We're going to be talking to a lot of people who were involved in the creation of the Carnival, and also people who were involved in the creation of second edition Ravenloft. We're also bringing on a few content creators to talk about the Ravenloft in general and talk about Carnival, and some of them are going to read excerpts for the documentary. So there's a lot of work to be done on that, but it is definitely going to be worth it. And I really look forward to you all seeing it. And that is going to be proof of concept for something that's going to be happening next year, which I want to kind of keep under wraps now. But it's big. It's going to be the biggest thing I've ever done, and I'm looking forward to it. And as long as Carnival goes off without a hitch, then, you know, that should go off without a hitch too. But one last thing, if anybody wants to order legally, seriously, legally, the created on PDF, it's available on Drive-Thru RPG, and I have an affiliate link in the description. So if you use that link to buy it, which I recommend, don't steal. We're chaotic neutral around here. No, chaotic good. We don't steal unless we really have to, and in this case, we don't have to. You don't have to. It's $4. Go buy yourself a copy of the created, and a portion of that money does go to me. And if you do pick it up and you like it, then, you're all the better for it, I guess. But anyway, if you do want to join the Discord, the link to the Discord is in the description too. And also in the link in the description is a link to Free League. Free League just sent me this. I put it out on I made a post about it. But this is the Electric State role-playing game. It's based on the book by the same name by Simon Stålenhag. It's an art book. It's amazing. I think, little serendipity. The last time I did one of these streams, I actually mentioned that it was coming out. So that's how long it's been since I've continued this stream. But it's got this whole the 90s that never was electronic doomsday feel to it. I don't want to get too much into it because I know we're here for one thing and one thing only, and that's to read about these freaking dolls. All right, let's go take a look at this. Oh, that's my stream. That's what's going on now. Well, let's go here. All right. So if you remember last time, we were introduced to Fliglio, who was the puppet created by oh my god, I'm blanking. Let's see, hold on one second here. Giuseppe. How did I forget that? Giuseppe. Giuseppe was the puppet master that created Faliglio. Faliglio wanted to be a real murderous boy, and he slew all the adults at the Selco Theater. And when that happened, he was granted the domain of Odier, which is all in the entirety of this domain is like one little town, one little city. Picture Florence, like an old school Italian village. And that is the breadth and width of his domain. If you leave at the top of the map, you appear at the bottom. All the roads intertwine and mix in with each other. I don't know, I'm gonna show you guys the map. By the way, this PDF was legally obtained, so nobody come at me in the comments, okay? I just told you where to buy it. So this is a map of the Selco Theater. Secolo. I always said Selco all these years. That is not Selco. That's Secolo. Secolo. Hey, manja. Okay, so there you go. That's the entirety of the domain of Odier. So if the players leave out the top here, they come in the bottom here. Green, yeller. You know, pretty simple. But that is the entirety of his domain. And what he did was, when he killed all the parents, they won't harm the children. They won't harm their children, but they cack some parents. And they have these silver needles that they stick in the back of the humans' heads, and it transfers the soul of the carionettes into the adult body, and the adult into the body of the carionette. So that eventually, not getting ahead of myself, but you'll see how that comes into play in this adventure. Spoilers, by the way. If you have not played this and your DM is going to run you through it, just stop. Not collaborate and listen, not in the name of the love. It's not hammer time. Just stop reading. I'll forgive you for not watching. All right. So we were on Dim the Lights. Now this is where you're going to start to see the silver needles come into play. Let me just get a sip of water here before I start. Let's see. Let's pull this out here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Thanks, Mom. I will. All right. Alrighty. Oh, that's Forge of Darkness. Never mind. If we get done with some time tonight, maybe we'll take a look at Forge of Darkness. Man, this is like epic music. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I think I gotta dial the music back. Give me 1 second here. There we go. That's probably a little bit better. It was just too epic to read about carionettes. All right, so we're gonna call that good. All right. After the attack at the Seclo, I almost did Selco. After the attack at the Seclo Theater, Maligno recognizes that the PCs are a genuine threat to him, so he prepares a trap at the toy shop. Giuseppe's toy shop is lit up like a lighthouse beacon, for every lamp in the place is lit. All the PCs will notice the light as soon as they round the corner and sight the shop. To ambush the PCs, Maligno takes 5 life-size rag dolls and ties their hands behind their back, puts sacks over their heads. Maligno then animates them with his innate power so that they struggle and wiggle around a bit, very lifelike. Since all that are visible are the clothes on the dolls are wearing, their hands and heads are hidden. They look for all the world like real people. Maligno and 4 of his carionettes then use their ventriloquism powers to make a muffled cry for help. At some point, one of the PCs will pull a sack off the doll's head or do something else that alerts the PCs to the ruse. At that point, Maligno and his carionette crew attack. 8 carionettes on the roof throw a net over any PC standing outside the building. A save versus breath weapon is necessary to avoid it. The carionettes then leap from the roof onto the PCs and begin to stab them with silver needles. Any PCs who have been taken over by carionettes now turn traitor, as the DM passes a note to each player controlled by a carionette, telling him or her that the puppets capture, not kill, the other PCs. Inside the toy shop, Maligno himself leads 10 carionettes to the attack. He uses whatever powers are necessary to subdue the characters. In particular, he attempts to touch the PCs and make them dance. If he sees anyone running away, he uses his taunt ability to try to make them return to the fray. Carionettes 18, alignment chaotic evil, intelligence average, AC 6, movement 6, HD 2, HP 10 each. Thaco 19, number of attacks 1, damage 1, special attack paralyzation possession, special defense immune to poison, cold, electricity, mental spells, magic resistance nil, size T, tiny, 1 inch tall, 1 foot tall, morale level fearless, XP 975 each. Maligno, alignment chaotic evil, intelligence exceptional, armor class 4, movement 9, hit die 6, hit points 30, Thaco 15, number of attacks 1, damage 1d3, special attack, Otto's irresistible dance, ventriloquism, taunt, paralyze, animate toy, special defense, immune to poison, cold, electricity, most spells, magic resistance nil, size tiny. Little badass. If the tide turns and it looks like he will be defeated or even captured, Maligno will flee. He will not animate any toys until the situation gets this desperate. He can flee through either door or up the stairs. If he is out of view for 2 rounds or more, he is gone and cannot be found. When running this adventure, be strictly honest. The adventure will work quite well whether the PCs are captured or are victorious. If they defeat Maligno here, they can investigate the toy shop and learn how to escape the domain. See Giuseppe's Toy Shop, page 18. If the PCs are defeated, then they end up in the doll bodies. See Awakening in the Toy Shop below. Let the player's skill and luck determine how the encounter goes. I like that. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. If they kill him then, so be it. That's why this isn't great for a one-shot adventure for Halloween. I'm just going to say, it could be over instantly. All right. Sorry. Let me just get a sip of water here. Always hydrate. Awakening in the Toy Shop. This section of the adventure is played only if the PCs are captured by the carionettes. When the characters wake up, they are in the bodies of dolls. Their new doll forms have been placed in round wooden bird cages and suspended about a foot from the ceiling. The sight of their possessed bodies and their current plight is cause for a horror check. You awaken to find yourself in a round wooden cage suspended from the ceiling by massive brass chains. Your first movements make the cage sway slightly. Carefully peering out, the sight that grabs your eyes chills you to the bone. You see a giant-sized doppelganger of yourself and of each of your companions that stands fully 30 feet tall. The room must have 40 feet ceilings where your cage hangs. No, not like that. I'm going to do that again. I'm sorry. The room must be 40 feet at the ceiling where your cage hangs. One of the doppelganger giants gives you a cold, malicious glance as it flies out of the shop with the others. As they depart, your perceptions correct themselves. You feel as though you are looking at an inverted, flat line drawing of a three-dimensional object. Your doppelganger body was normal size. It was you who have shrunk. Then, a glance at your body reveals an even more horrifying fact. You are inhabiting the body of a doll. Escaping the cages. The doors to the cages have a stiff piece of wire twisted around them, making them impossible for the characters to open. The bars of the cage are too thick and too sturdy for the puppets to break, bend, or squeeze through. These birds' cages were never meant to hold creatures with hands, however. While the carionets in the PC's stolen bodies secured the doors, they neglected to do anything about the chains that hold the cages suspended from the ceiling. Any character can reach through the top of the cage and unclasp the chain. Of course, undoing the chain means that your cage will fall. The cage will take a quite jolt, enough to give it a 50% chance of cracking or bending in a vital place that will allow the PC doll to escape. Naturally, the PC doll also suffers a fall, and he or she takes 1d6 points of damage unless a save versus fall is made. If none of the cages are harmed enough to crack open, then the last cage to fall cracks open automatically. There is a clever way to avoid having the cage fall. Several strings dangle from each PC doll. Tied together, each PC strings form a single strand about 6 feet long. Working together, the PC dolls may get enough string to lower one doll's cage to the floor. If this string is looped through the chain and tied to the top of the cage, the PC can undo the cage from the chain and keep it suspended by holding it tight to the string. By letting out the string a little at a time, the cage can gently be lowered to the floor. Once even a single doll is free, he or she can release the others. The two dolls working together can untwist the wire that closes a cage door. The combat abilities of the PCs as dolls are found on pages 17 and 18. Escaping the toy shop. The toy shop is littered with animated toys, all set to prevent the characters from escaping. In fact, there are so many that all of them immediately assault the PCs, they'll be doomed. Maligno wants the PCs alive, but trapped in doll bodies. If they die while in doll bodies, then the carionets inhabiting their living bodies die also. Therefore, Maligno has given specific orders to the toys to prevent the escape of the PCs, but not to kill them. The toys will generally act to drive the PCs back from the windows, doors, and stairs. They don't mind causing damage, but they will avoid attacking with a good chance of destruction. For example, the toys will knock the PCs off the tables, drag them away from the doors and windows, block exits, etc. As long as the PCs stay well away from the doors, windows, and stairs, the toys will leave the PC dolls alone. The toys will also chase the PCs upstairs should they try to go there. Note, the toys don't consider the fireplace to be an exit, and they will not take action if the PCs attempt to climb out of the flue. Of course, the animated toys will defend themselves if attacked. Once outside the shop, the animated toys won't pursue the characters. They have done their job and failed. The one creature in the toy shop that is not following Maligno's rules is Gato. Gato is a normal house cat who spends most of his time upstairs. If the characters venture up there in an attempt to escape, they are sure to run into him. Gato loves to chase the small creatures, such as PCs and doll bodies. He will attack the PC dolls. Gato is curled up in the bed. Area U. His morale is normal, at 2, but against the dolls it is an 11. He is capable of 1 round burst of speed for a movement of 18. Gato the house cat. Alignment neutral, intelligence animal, armor class 6, movement 6, hit die 1, hit points 4, Thaco 20, number of attacks 3, damage 1d2, 1-1, special attack rear claws. Yeah, watch out for them dew claws. Man. Train of thought. Where was I? Rear claws. Okay. 1d2, 1d2. If both front paws hit. Special defense, nil. Magic resistance, nil. Size, tiny. Morale, 2 and 11. Experience, 7. You don't get shit for killing a house cat. I mean, probably had it coming. Anyway, the PCs as dolls. When in the body of dolls, the PCs do not have their character's class abilities. Wizards and priests can't cast spells, warriors don't have their combat abilities, and rogues lose their thief skills. You're basically just a walking doll. PC doll abilities. Armor class 6, movement 2, 12 in small scale. Hit die 2, hit points 16, Thaco 19, number of attacks 1, damage per attack 1, special defenses. At least you got something here. You're immune to poison, cold, electricity, mental spells. Save versus falls 5, size tiny. Alright, let me get back up here. So that's kind of like what you'd be looking at. Yeah, so that's pretty much what you're looking at. I mean, I think it would be frightening. Oops, sorry. All right. Did size of movement falls? We're on falls, right? No, size of movement. Sorry, size of movement. With the PCs being only 1 foot tall, they are 1/2 the height of a normal. 1/6. Sorry, I couldn't see it real well. I had to lean in. With the PCs only being 1 foot tall, they are 1/6 the height of a normal man. To keep the math easier, assume they are 1/6 the man's height, and that all the distances are 5 times normal. Therefore, a table whose surface is really 3 feet off the ground is effectively 15 feet high. A room 20 feet across is treated as if it were 100 feet across. A carionet has a movement rate of 6 compared to a human's movement rate of 12. The carionet is far less than half the size of a human, but its magical nature allows it unnatural speed at that size. Unfortunately for the PCs, they don't get the benefit of that magic. They move at 1/5 or 1/6, depending on how your eyes are, normal speed, which is 20 feet per round, half if attacking in the same round. Falls. A carionet body can take a lot of abuse that the flesh cannot. A wooden doll body gets an item saving throw versus fall. A wooden doll body gets an item saving throw versus fall to avoid all falling damage. However, since they are built more delicately than a simple block of wood, there's a -3 penalty. Thus, they have a saving throw versus falling of 5. Simply put, they rarely take damage from falls. If the doll fails to save, he takes 1d6 points of damage for each 10 feet or a fraction thereof that he falls. Rules for falling are also used for being battered around, thrown, propelled, or otherwise heaved across the room. Unless unusual force is used, only 1d6 points of damage is possible when throwing or batting around the doll. Excuse me. Death. The PCs do enjoy some benefits as dolls. The principal benefit is that it is almost impossible to destroy their doll bodies. Reducing them to 0 hit points or below will render the body inert and not dead. The doll can't move unless repairs have been made, but the character in that body is still alive. Only fire will permanently destroy the carionet body. Burns can never be repaired, and once the body suffers a full hit point damage and it burns, the doll body and the character are both dead. Could you imagine that though, as a character, just like your body being broken and just trapped in this carionet body, you're just screaming, your jaw just flapping, and you can't make a sound? That's why it's a horror setting. Making repairs. Assuming the PCs in their doll bodies have had some string and some glue, they can actually repair themselves. Repairs can be attempted only once the doll body is at or below 0 hit points, however. The PCs are not skilled craftsmen like Giuseppe. When they make repairs, it takes half an hour and leaves the PC doll with 1d6 plus 2 total hit points, regardless how far below 0 the doll went. Remember, burn damage cannot be repaired. Alright, Giuseppe's Toy Shop. There are 2 entrances to the store, one opening in the back of the main street, the other into the back alley. The back door is kept locked for the duration of this adventure. The front door is unlocked unless the PCs are captured and possessed by the dolls, then it is kept locked. The storefront has 2 large glass windows. The first is the store and the workshop. The first floor is the store and the workshop. The upstairs is Giuseppe's living quarters. There is no basement or cellar. When the PCs enter the toy shop, lay out the large map on the inside of the cover. This is the player's map, and they can see everything shown on that map. A copy of the map is included on page 19 for your use, and it has had all the key locations described below. There is no player map for the second floor. The windows of the second floor are all shut but not locked. It will take cooperative effort of 3 doll-sized PCs, 1 normal-sized one, to open the window. The doorways are all covered with hanging cloth instead of doors. The cloth blocks the sunlight and retains some heat, but it does nothing to stop movement. A1 to A4 display shelves. These shelves are filled with a variety of toys. Many of them have been animated by Maligno. Below is a sampling of toys to be found on each shelf. Animated toys are listed first, with special abilities shown in parentheses afterwards. Some of these special abilities will work only against unarmored, tiny, or smaller opponents. The non-animated toys are listed last. There are many other non-animated toys on these shelves, as well as duplicates of those listed. Animated toys. Alignment, Lawful Evil, Intelligence Average, AC 6, Movement 6, Hit Die 2, 9 each, Thaco 19, Number of Attacks 1, Damage 1, Special Attack, Special Power, Special Defense, Immune to Poison, Cold, Electricity, and Mental Spells. Magic Resistance nil, Size tiny, Morale fearless 20, XP 175. A1, the display shelf. Animated toys there are 4 darts. They fly, movement 12, and they charge for 1d points of damage. There's a Jack in the Box, which is what you see on the cover. There's one of them. Automatic surprise when popping out of the box. 2 attacks for 1d3 points of damage. This toy is the one shown on the cover of this adventure. It was altered by Maligno to have a skull head and clawed hands. It is the leader of the toys. The leader of the toys. Speaking of soldiers, Tin Soldier AC 1. Tin Soldier 1 AC 0. The sword inflicts 1d3 points of damage. Got a ragdoll, immune to health, immune to falls and bashing attacks. Wheeled Horse, movement 12, charge for 1d2 points of damage, save versus breath, or it could be knocked down. Non-animated toys. Dominoes, card deck, ring toss, sling, acrobat puppets, music box, wooden sword, and ceramic dolls. Plain old ceramic dolls, the boring kind. A2 display shelf. Animated toys. Wooden dragon, fly, speed 12, breathe fire in a 12-inch by 6-inch cone, 1d6 points of damage, save for half. Man, I would love sometimes somebody to just like take that toy and like, you know, you take the fire breathing dragon toy and you like tape its mouth shut so that it only like breathes fire when you want it to, you know, just like you just give it a mask like Scotty Summers has the goggles, and then he just unleashed the wooden toy on people. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Punch and Judy puppets 2. The clubs inflict 1d3 points of damage. There's a wooden bear, 16 hit points. A battering ram, 1 charge for 1d6 points of damage. Non-animated toys, bouncing ball, stick puppets, jacks, marbles, wooden animals, and straw dolls. A3 display shelf. Animated toys. Doll in a doll. Creates 5 duplicates, each with 1 less hit point. This is one of those hollow wooden dolls that has a smaller version of it inside. The doll in turn has yet another smaller one version inside, etc. In this case, there are 6 total dolls, all nested within each other. Each can slide around and move and has a pair of articulated arms that it uses to attack. That's awesome. It's just like murderous nesting dolls. Slingshot. Range attack with marbles. 1d3 points of damage. Marionettes 2. Use strings as whip. Range 2 feet. Save versus breath weapon or have one limb entangled. So like, this is so cool. Non-animated toys. Dice, cone pop-up puppet, ceramic animals, ball and peg machine, backgammon, chess, checkers, pop-up sticks, pick-up sticks, building blocks, and wooden puzzles. A4, display shelf, animated toys, roller skates, 1 pair, charge for 1d3 points of damage. Tops, 3, touch required to save versus breath weapon or be flung 1d4 points away and suffer 1 point of damage. 1 marionette, uses strings as whip, range 2 feet, save versus breath weapon or have 1 limb entangled. Non-animated toys on that shelf are whistles, child's tea set, ice skates, kaleidoscope, pinwheel, Chinese finger traps, juggling balls, chalks, pegboards, and a yo-yo. All right, we're on to B. This right here. B, the work shelf. Giuseppe keeps supplies and partially finished projects on this shelf. To the right of the shelf is a hooded cloak hung on a wooden peg. To the right of that is the back door leading to the alley. One of the shelves are piles of fine cuts of various woods, jars of paint, sheets of lizard skin used as sandpaper. That's genius. Scraps of cloth, 1 jar of tar, sticky and flammable, bars of soap, lumps of clay, pieces of chalk, balls of string, strips of wire, and traces of leather. There are also many toy pieces here, such as wheels, gears, puppet arms, painted boxes, etc. C. Cabinet. There's a C. Let's get your cabinet there. Supplies and tools are kept here. Pins, needles, thread, glue, paintbrushes, nails, screws, wooden pegs, tar, paper, glass vial of acid, ball of string, whetstone. On the bottom of the shelf there is a mousetrap, baited with stale cheese. D. Workbench. This large table measures 7 feet by 4 feet and stands 3 feet tall. Scraps of material, wood chips, and snippets of thread liner litter the scarred, paint-splattered surface. Underneath the bench are several wooden crates containing scraps of metal, wood, and cloth. There's a partially built marionette lying here. The body has been assembled, but it has not been painted or dressed. It has not been turned into a carionette yet, but it could possibly be animated by Maligno if he so chose. Next to the doll is an open book that contains Giuseppe's notes on carionette creation as well as his personal ramblings. The carionette is created just like any other marionette, so the notes are worthless in that regard. It is Giuseppe himself who provides the magic of animation. Among his ramblings are observations about how carionettes work. This is where the player characters can find out how to get their bodies back. If they take the time to read this book, give them a photocopy of the handout found at the end of the booklet. Excuse me 1 second. E. Fireplace. This is a typical fireplace with a low fire burning in it. A pile of wood is stacked to its left with a small hatchet hanging on the wall above. Fireplace tools, including a poker, broom, shovel, and tongs, lean in the corner to the right. Excuse me. Thanks, Cap. Sorry, he's commenting in my voice. Alright. Where was I? Fireplace. Okay. This is a typical fireplace with a low fire burning in it. A pile of wood is stacked on its left and a small hatchet hangs on the wall above. Fireplace tools, including a poker, broom, and shovel and tongs, lean in the corner to the right. Climbing the flue, which takes 6 rounds, is one way out of the toy shop. However, any of the PC dolls caught in the fire suffers 1d6 points of irreparable damage per round. Climbing the flue without putting out the fire causes 1d3 points of heat damage for 3 consecutive rounds. F. Stairs. These stairs lead up to Giuseppe's living quarters. Each step is about 8 inches high and 1 foot wide. G. Under the stairs. Like many darkened areas under stairs, this one is used for storage. Bolts of cloth and paper, small barrels, water, oil, and grease, and pile of rags are the principal features on this one. H. Tools. The wall here is littered with small pegs upon which are hung the tools of a toy maker. There are saws, knives, chisels, and hammers, tongs, drills, pliers, T-squares, clamps, and a myriad of other tools. Most are small, delicate devices suitable for making tiny items. Underneath the tools is a box of straw. The straw is used for stuffed dolls and to pad small chairs or other such items. 10 to 12. Display tables. Each of these 2 tables sits directly below a window. Toys and dolls are set out here to lure passerby into the shop. The 11 display tables has 3 wooden puppets, not marionettes, that have been animated. The 12 display table has 2 of them. The 12 display table has 2 of them. These are animated toys with the special ability to use their strings like a whip. Each has a range of 2 feet and does no damage, but the victim must make a save versus breath weapon to have one limb tangled into the string. This attack only works against tiny size opponents. Animated toys. Lawful evil. Intelligence. Average. AC 6. Movement 6. Hit die 2. 9 each. Thaco 19. Number of attacks 1. Damage 1. Special attacks. Tangling strings. Special defense. Immune to poison. Cold. Electricity. Mental spells. Magic resistance 0. Size tiny. 1 foot tall. Morale fearless 20. Experience 175. The glass in the shop windows can be broken, but not as easily as the characters might assume. After all, they are only 12 inches tall. An individual PC doll pounding on the windows or throwing something at it will not break it. It takes a cooperative effort of 3 or more doll-sized characters to shatter a pane. They must use their collective strength, not just attack as 3 individuals. For example, if they all pick up a hammer too heavy for only one of them to wield, or run at the window with a battering ram-like object, the window will break. The shattering glass has no effect upon their wooden bodies. Obviously, normal-sized PCs would have little problem breaking the window, but the PC dolls, this will be quite an easy endeavor. Hang on, I don't know how. I think I gotta change this real quick. Give me 1 second here. I just had to fix the music. All of a sudden it became like a jam band in here. No jazz. I'll just go ambient. The heck with it. I was a little poorly prepared with the music tonight, so I do apologize about that. I'm gonna get a solid playlist for these things one time. Hey man, relaxation is while I'm here, Cap. While I'm here. I know, I'm relaxing myself too. This is zenning me out. I'm not gonna lie. All right. I get a sip of water. I'm gonna continue. All right. So you get it, right? You can't just 3 of them just can't just individually bang on it, but they all have to pick up something and work together, and then it'll break the window, which I think is a great distinction. Oh, blurry. There we go. All right. J. Dollhouse. This miniature house is 2 stories high, plus an attic. It is sized just right for the PCs. Like most dollhouses, the front wall is missing, leaving nowhere to hide inside. K. Hobby Dragon. The head of this hobby horse is that of a dragon. It is a larger than normal animated toy and a fearsome opponent. It will only animate against human or humanoid intruders. It ignores the PCs while they have doll bodies. Its breath weapon extends in a cone 10 feet long and 5 feet wide, inflicting 2d6 points of damage upon anyone in it. Save versus breath weapon for half damage. Animated toy. Alignment. Lawful evil. Intelligence average. Armor class 6. Movement 6. Hit die 3. Hit points 15. Thaco 17. Number of attacks 1. Damage 1d6. Bite. Special attacks breath weapon. Special defense immune to poison, cold, electricity, and mental spells. Magic resistance nil. Size small, 4 feet tall. Morale fearless 20. Experience 270. Rocking unicorn. L. Built like a normal rocking horse, this one has a unicorn horn on its forehead. It is larger than a normal It is a larger than normal animated toy. Like the Hobby Dragon, it will only animate against live intruders and will ignore the PCs if in their doll bodies. Its only attacks is to charge an opponent and engore him for 1d6 points of damage. To attack again, it must back up and charge. It can do this every round. That is the meanest frickin' unicorn I've ever heard of. Animated toy, alignment, lawful evil, intelligence average, armor class 6, movement 12, hit die 3, hit points 18, Thaco 17, number of attacks 1, damage 1d6, charge, special defense, immune to poison, cold, electricity, mental spells, magic resistance nil, size small, 3 feet tall, morale fearless 20, experience 270. Hoop and stick M. This animated toy works by having the stick hit the hoop rapidly, thus making it roll forward. The hoop cannot cause any damage itself, but it can fall down and encircle a victim. As long as the victim remains inside the hoop, the stick can strike it twice a turn. If there is no target inside the hoop, the stick must spend a round flipping up the hoop and then roll it forward to find a new victim. You imagine that you're in the shop, just hoop is just bouncing toward you. Animated toy, alignment, lawful evil, intelligence, average, armor class 6, movement 12, hit die 2, hit points 8, Thaco 19, number of attacks 2, damage 1d3, special defense, immune to poison, cold, electricity, mental spells, magic resistance nil, size small, 2 feet tall. Morale level fearless 20. Experience 175. N. Kite. With a griffin painted on it, this kite is able to sail around the room and bump into things, doing 1 point of damage. Animated toy, lawful evil, intelligence average, armor class 6, fly 6, hit dice 2, hit points 8, Thaco 19, 1, damage 1, special defense, immune to the same stuff that all toys are immune to, seems. Poison, cold, electricity, and mental spells. So magic resistance, nil, size, small, morale 20, and XP 175. Look at poor old Giuseppe. He never knew it hit him. Just one day, I want to be a real murderer. And just not thinking it's... Poor Giuseppe. Oh, table. This is where Giuseppe has most of his meals. There's a mug, dirty food bowl, and a wooden spoon on the table. A soilcloth lies crumpled next to it. Its loose threads are beginning to unravel on one end. P. Fireplace. This fireplace is the same shape and size as the one on the first floor. However, it has its own flue that runs next to it, but does not connect to it. The flue from the downstairs fireplace is currently unlit. Q. Kitchen table. This is where Giuseppe prepares his meal. This is where Giuseppe prepares his meals. There are several knives, forks, and spoons, and cleaning rags there. Plates, bowls, and cups are stacked neatly along the back, while pots, pans, and firewood are under the table. There's a mousetrap behind the wood pile. R. Food pantry. Must be a pirate pantry. Arr. R. Food pantry. No, that's not several. Shelves of food and other common household supplies fill this closet. There are 2 mousetraps on the floor. S. Table. This is one of Giuseppe's favorite places in his humble home. Here he can just plan new toys, read or write, and look out over the streets of the town all the while. T. Bed. This is where Giuseppe sleeps. It is rumpled and unkept. Gato the cat is curled up here. It is the only pussy that has been in Giuseppe's bed this decade. U. Closet. This small area holds clothes, books, and other personal effects. Alright, curtain call. Okay. We're at curtain call. We made it through another chapter. Yeah, I don't know about you, but my mouth is dry. We made it through another chapter, gone for a little under an hour. I mean, I am a little out of practice, so I may call the stream here. If you guys have no objections. So again, if you want to join the Discord, link is in the description. Tomorrow morning we're gonna start Jacqueline Montari's. Well, it's not really her tale. It's actually let's just call it a voyage of discovery for a young lady who was betrothed to a baron. It's like top, like S tier Ravenloft book. So it'll be streaming on Discord all this week. The PDF will be there if you want to watch it, or if you want to read it along. And yeah, that's about it for tonight for me, guys. I think maybe Thursday we will actually wrap up the created. Maybe we'll at least do another chapter. So, but we'll get to it this week. And don't forget to look for the Jacqueline Montari video coming out soon. Thanks you all for watching it. And you guys mean a lot to me. Don't get lost in the mist. And you'll see me guys on the next stream. Take it easy. Good night, guys.